like to call to order the Planning Commission meeting of Wednesday, March 24th. I'd like to welcome everyone and a couple of opening remarks before we get started. The Planning Commission is a set of volunteers in the town that have been appointed by the town council to make land use decisions. And so we're here tonight hearing two items. One's on our consent calendar and one other item. If you do wish to speak on any item, please grab a speaker card. You can find it in the back of the rows there and hand it to staff up here on my right, your left. And even if you are an applicant, we ask that you do fill out one of the cards. And please note the item number in the upper right-hand corner. So with that being said, can we get the roll call?
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Here.
Commissioner Erickson.
Here.
Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Commissioner Machichi.
Here.
Commissioner Talasfor.
Here.
Commissioner Sayoc.
Here.
And Chair Bourgeois.
Here. Everyone please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item tonight, we have a set of minutes from our March 10th meeting. Does anyone have any? Commissioner Jensen.
I move to approve the minutes of our meeting from March 10th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Talasfor. Any comments or additions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes passed unanimously. Next item is written communications. I did not see any desk items or written communications. Okay, staff's indicating we have none. We have no requested continuances, and so that moves us on to our subcommittee reports. Members of the Planning Commission also serve on numerous subcommittees in the town, and we take a couple minutes to report on those. Any subcommittee reports?
We did not receive the minutes yet, so I'm not going to give one in detail, but there's nothing significant at this historical meeting.
And when was that meeting?
Last week.
Last week. Okay. And Commissioner Jensen?
The General Plan Committee met this afternoon, and we went over comments that we received from the state regarding the housing element, which we've been revising and working on, and went over various alternatives to respond to those state comments.
Thank you. And Commissioner Sayoc?
On Monday, the Sustainability Committee met, and we met with staff to discuss the draft of the general plan. I guess the revision to the general plan 2000. That's one thing I learned. But it's for 2020.
Great, thank you. I think that's all our subcommittee reports. So we're going to move on to verbal communication. So this is the part of the meeting where if you wish to speak on something not on tonight's agenda, again, any item you wish to bring to the Planning Commission's attention, now is your time to do so. I don't see any cards. I don't have any speakers for verbal communications. Does anyone wish to speak during verbal communications? Seeing none, we will move right along. The first item of business is our consent calendar. We have one item on our consent calendar, and that's 16400 Lark Avenue, Suite 220, and it's a conditional use permit requesting approval to conduct group exercise classes on property zoned CH. Does anyone of the audience or members of the commission wish to pull this off consent, or do I have a motion?
I will move to approve the consent item.
Commissioner O'Donnell, second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Machichi. And again, just to reiterate, no member of the audience wishes to pull this off of consent. Okay, seeing none, Commissioner Sayoc.
I do have to abstain from this vote because I do live within 500 feet of the subject property.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I'll go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstention, so it passes 6-0 with Commissioner Sayoc recusing herself. We have no continued public hearings, and we have one new public hearing tonight, and that is item 2 on our agenda, 192 Los Gatos Saratoga Road, conditional use permit 09-011, requesting to modify hours of the operation for a bank on property zone C1. We have a staff report?
Yes, Ms. Mosley will do the presentation.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. The subject site is located at the northeast corner of Los Gatos Saratoga Road and North Santa Cruz Avenue. The previous occupant, Washington Mutual, has been acquired by J.P. Morgan Chase. During the transition, it came to staff's attention that the operating hours of Chase Bank did not coincide with those placed on the existing conditional use permit, which was approved in 1990. The applicant was permitted to continue to operate under the proposed hours of operation while completing the CUP process. Staff has not observed any issues with the increased hours during this application process. The approved hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The proposed extension of operating hours would increase the PM peak hour trips by 87 trips. PM peak hour trips are generated between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. While 87 additional trips appears to be a significant increase, the existing use generated 0 p.m. peak hours previously, since it did not extend past 4 p.m. The proposed modification will not impact the AM peak hour trips or the average daily trip calculation. Due to the PM peak hour trip increase being greater than 5, the applicant is required to provide a community benefit to the town, and the applicant is offering to contribute $6,000 toward a general traffic impact fund. Staff intends to use these funds towards upgrading an outdated school zone speed display sign located on Blossom Hill Road for the Fisher Middle School. The applicant also offers a desirable service to the town's nonprofit organizations in offering their building frontage for special event banners. And finally, the applicant's proposal to extend the operating hours will benefit the community in that it will provide bank hours that are more accessible to working residents. The applicant is currently operating under the proposed hours, and again, staff has not observed any issues with the increase in traffic. Staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the conditional use permit with the attached conditions. And this completes staff's report. We are here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Talsfor.
I do have one, and that is the sign, this outdated school zone speed display sign located on Blossom Hill Road for Fisher. Where exactly is that located on Blossom Hill Road? Is that going toward Los Gatos Boulevard or moving away from Los Gatos Boulevard?
I couldn't answer that question. I don't know.
The flashing one is going towards Santa Cruz.
Yeah, no.
Avenue.
The flashing one is
On
also
the
going
right.
across Lark Avenue, going toward Los Gatos Boulevard from Winchester.
We're talking about Blossom
You're talking about
Hill.
Blossom Hill.
Yes. Oh,
I think over,
Okay, Blossom Hill. I mean, I saw one with a flashing light. I'm just wondering where the other, is there
there's a
another?
similar one over there on Winchester, and I'm assuming that a similar one would be installed on
Going the
Blossom
other
Hill.
way?
On Blossom Hill Road.
Perhaps we can,
Right.
commissioners, perhaps we can, when the applicant comes up, we can ask them.
Okay.
Okay,
The
thank
applicant
you.
wouldn't be able to speak to
They don't.
that. The use of the funds is determined by Parks and Public Works Department.
So
They
that's
offer-
Parks and Public Works proposal?
Correct.
That was
As
a
far as
staff
where those funds
recommendation
would-
for the use of those funds.
Correct.
The reason I asked was that I know that there is one that's working now that has a flashing light attached to it, and I just didn't know if there was something more significant that needed to be added. That's my only questioning, and maybe we could use that money or those funds in another place. Just a question. Thanks.
Any, Commissioner Machichi?
Are these hours consistent with the other banks in here?
Yes, they are. All the other banks in the downtown area operate during the PM peak hours.
Any other questions of staff? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and call the main applicant up, Mr. Ted Udos. All right. If you could just restate your name and for the record.
Certainly. Ted Udis with Callison Architecture. And I'd just like to say that staff did an excellent job of preparing the recommendation. We fully agree with everything that was noted there. Chase does look forward to providing the funds for the traffic mitigation as necessary. And I'd say I'm open to any questions at this point.
Okay, I should state that, I mean, you do have 5 minutes to make any presentation you want, but you don't have to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and look to the commission and see if they have any questions for you at this time. Any questions of the speaker? Okay, we'll see if there's any public input. I don't have any speaker cards apart from the applicant on this item.
Thank you for your time.
If anyone wishes to speak on this item, I do see people in the audience. Now's your chance. So, okay, item 1 we've already approved and it's done. So, yeah, you can, yes. So again, the applicant. No one from the public is speaking. You do have the opportunity to rebut if you do wish to make any closing statements, but okay, he's declining to make any further statements. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public input portion of this public hearing, and I'll look to the commission for any questions, discussions, or a motion. Commissioner Erickson.
Just a comment for the record. I guess this isn't necessarily related to this particular concern about this particular one, but I guess I have an ongoing concern about traffic issues in the town in general, and particularly at certain peak hours, not just the peak hours as defined by here, peak hours after school, so forth. So I think at some moment in time the town needs to begin to own the traffic and circulation issues in the town and address them in some way that we're not addressing, but wouldn't in any way influence me not to support this very reasonable change in the conditional use permit.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments or motion? Commissioner O'Donnell?
I'll just make a motion.
Thank you.
I will move the approval of the application with the following. Again, the microphone wasn't on. I'll say it again. The matter is categorically exempt pursuant to 15301 of the environmental guidelines of the state. The findings necessary to modify and in fact to issue a conditional use permit are also set forth there, and I would suggest that we can find that the proposed uses of the property are desirable for the public convenience or welfare, will not impair the integrity and character of the zone, will not be detrimental to public health or safety and general welfare, and they are in harmony with the elements and objectives of the general plan and the purposes of the town code. We have heard evidence, and we've heard from the staff that the hours are reasonable, and I think all of us living in town could, from our own experience, would know that that is a fairly common time for banks to be open and closed. So that would be the motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Commissioner Erickson, your hand was up first.
I'll second the motion with pleasure.
All right. Commissioner Jensen.
This will be short, but just as a matter of consistency, I know people disagree with me, but I do believe that there should be a nexus between the community benefit fee or whatever is provided by the applicant and the use or impact. It's not happening here. So I think that's something that hopefully at one point this body or the town council will examine whether I'm just out to lunch on this or not. But that is my position. But I will support the motion.
Thank you. Any other comments on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving this as per Commissioner O'Donnell's motion, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? No one. Passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
This decision is appealable to the town council. Appeal forms are available in the town clerk's office. The appeal must be filed within 10 calendar days, and there is a fee for filing an appeal.
Thank you. So that completes our new public hearings. We have no continued other business. So for new other business, Ms. Bailey, do we have a report from the Director of Community Development?
Yes, we do. I have a couple items to announce. One is you will be getting a notice of the volunteer recognition event that will be happening on Tuesday, April 27th. That's 5 to 6:30. You are all encouraged to attend. This is where we celebrate all the volunteers, all that hard work that you do. There's food, and that always brings people out. But we encourage you to attend, and you will get an actual notice regarding this event. The other item is the council has introduced the zone change ordinance at 17230 Buena Vista Avenue. And the last item is regarding the general plan and EIR study session. We heard from several of you regarding concerns about the dates. And I can email this to you because I think you'll have to go home and check your calendars. But we are proposing to revise the schedule. It was previously scheduled for June 30th for the study session and July 7th for the public hearing. We're proposing to change it to June 23rd for the study session and June 30th for the public hearing. And if you could let us know by Friday, and that'd be Arlene. I think you have Arlene's email address. She's our admin secretary.
Will those dates be coming to us via email as a
Yes.
reminder?
Mhm.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the same as a meeting night.
Pardon me?
It's a meeting night. Anyway. June 23rd.
June 23rd is a normal meeting night.
That's the date that
Yeah.
was picked, so.
So would it happen prior to our meeting, or?
I don't see any times here. I'll have to check on that. I don't see any change with that. And just a reminder, we discussed at the last meeting, April 21st will be that community forum from 4:30 to 6:30. And then the planning commission will be after that. But I will check on the times for you. It must be the same time because there was no change.
And we can get that clarified in the
Correct.
email.
That'll be emailed out tomorrow.
On the 21st at 4:30 to 6:30?
That's the community forum.
Okay.
What was the time of the meeting before?
They're going to clarify that in the email to us, so they're not sure if it's before or during our normal meeting time. So, is that it? Any commission matters? Commissioner Sayak.
I just would like to announce that the next meeting that we have on April 14th, I'll be out of town and unable to attend.
Commissioner Jensen, you too?
I'm sorry, I'll be out of town on April 14th as well.
Okay.
Really? Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Thank you very much. Meeting's adjourned.